Okay, today is the 20th of May 2019, and the last video was about not asking the tarot what advice do you have for the day, or what can I learn about today, because it's too vague. Or not so much that it's too vague, it's not focused on or relating to a particular area of life. So you can get generic good advice, but what is it? It may not apply to you at that moment, or you don't know whether it's about you, or it's about your parents, or it's about your husband or wife, or your children, or your friends. There's all sorts of areas of life that the card could relate to, but you don't know which one it is. And that's why I suggested doing a horoscope spread. So to send an email to say, horoscope spread, very good, but what question do I ask? So in this video, I'd like to look at how to do a horoscope spread and about what question do you ask. So the horoscope spread, the main point is you lay the cards and then you think of the question. But your question relates to one of the 12 areas of life. So you know what you're dealing with, or you know what the answer is about. And that's the difference between tell me about, or what's happening in my relationships, as opposed to what advice do you have. And so the advice might be think things through, but you don't know whether that's you personally are supposed to think things through, or your husband or wife is supposed to think things through, or you're supposed to think about partnerships. You know, it becomes difficult when you don't know what the question is, or when you don't know what area of life you're supposed to focus on. So you shuffle and you lay 12 cards face down, and that there'll be ideally there's going to be a space over there. And I'll put a photograph of a completed horoscope spread, but everything is face down because you don't want everything all at once. You want one card at a time, so you can build deeper understanding, or so you can build layer upon layer of information, depending how much detail you want. So let's say we've got the cards face down, and the first illustration over there is going to be 2 cards, but ignore one of them. So let's say the person wants to, you've laid the spread, and then you think, I wonder what's happening in my relationships. And you know if you're in a relationship, if you're looking for one, if the relationship's going well or badly, or if you want a new partner. You know those specific pieces of information, but you may think, I'd like to know about partnerships. What can you tell me? So you turn the card in the 7th house, which is like the 3 o'clock position on a clock face. I've got 2 turned over, but so let's say you want to know about partnerships, and it could be you know your circumstances, or the question knows their circumstances. If they've got somebody, or at the moment, if it's going well, if it's going badly, if they're going to look for somebody and they want to know if it's a good time or a good idea, or what to do about a difficult husband or wife, right? They know the actual question, but they want to know about relationships. So you turn the card in the 7th house, and here we've got the Ace of Cups. So it's an ace for a beginning, and it's cups for romance and love and home and family. So now, okay, it's if the question is, am I going to meet somebody? Then the answer is yes, because it's a new beginning. You're going to meet somebody new, somebody you feel compatible with, because it's cups for loving and giving, and it's upright. So they're going to be loving and giving. You're going to be loving and giving. The relationship looks good, certainly in the beginning. Whereas if the question is, how can I improve my relationship with whoever it is, and you get the Ace of Cups, you would say, have a fresh start. So maybe think about what you did in the early year, or the early period of the relationship. Maybe you went to see a movie once a week, or you had dinner once a week in a restaurant, or you did something else together. Or what was it in the beginning of the relationship that made it work and made it good and made it enjoyable? Do that. Start doing that again, because we've got an ace for a new beginning and we've got cups. So that's what you do with a horoscope spread. Let's say you lay one for you and you've got the 12 cards face down. When you think of a question, and do one card a day, one area of life a day, rather than rush it. And this is practice for you in reading cards, as well as getting information about what's going on in your life. And it's going to be more difficult to get confused and to wonder what's going on. So you lay 12 cards face down, and then maybe you're thinking, I wonder about my first child. This is because the first child is the 5th house. So you go back to your horoscope spread and you turn the 5th house card, and here we've got, can't remember what it was, the 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, the 7 of Pentacles. So this is telling you not about you or your husband or wife. It's telling you about your first child, because it's a 5th house card, or it's the card in the 5th house. And this is the advantage of the horoscope spread, that you turn a card and you know what area of life it's referring to. So this is not about you. It's not about your friends. It's about your first child. So it's telling you something about the child. The 7 of Pentacles, the child is contemplating the future because it's Pentacles for values, or they're thinking about the past, because we don't know if it's past or future. But the person represented by the card is, there's the bush with the 6 coins on it, and there's one at the feet. So they've made the beginnings of a move forward, because they've got one of the 7 Pentacles. They've chosen something. So maybe they've decided what it is they want to do with some of their life, or who they want to spend time with. But they know there's more than that. So they need to make some other decisions about other events in their life, or other potential circumstances, or other potential conditions they want to bring about in their life, or they want to experience in their life. But there are 6 coins on the bush still. So they're thinking and contemplating past or future, maybe both. You know, we can understand that as we understand what happened in the past, what worked, what didn't work, we're better able to make correct decisions for us about future conditions, or about what we're looking for in the future. So that gives you, so if you're concerned that your first child isn't going out looking for a job, then you look at the 5th house card and get the 7 of Pentacles, and you understand they're not yet ready. They haven't made up their mind yet about what it is that they want to do, or what direction they want to go in, because they're still thinking it through. So you, the parent, can help by encouraging them to make good decisions, or maybe making suggestions about what might work. But you point out to the child, who may be 22, 23, and no longer a baby, you point out to the child maybe some good advice that you were given when you were making decisions about your long-term future, and that may be helpful to the individual, and so on. So that's you, or that's partnerships, and then maybe the next day or tomorrow you wonder, you think to yourself, I've got this project I want to do, and I wonder if it's a good idea or not, because people have said it is, but other people have said it isn't. What's going on with this project? So projects, if you think about it, can be your hopes and aspirations, what you're looking for. And that's the 11th house. So you turn the card in the 11th house position, and here we get the 5 of batons. So what is this telling you about your plans, or your projects, or your aspirations, what it is you want to achieve? With the 5 of batons, you're going to have more than one project that's important to you. So don't just try and limit yourself to one. Or if you think I've got to just choose one, no, you don't. You can have 5, or you could have you could have multiple projects that you want to fulfill or experience success with. Because it's a 5 of batons, but the 5 young fellows in the picture are in competition with each other. So you can find that you're not going to know what you want to do for a while because you've got 5 projects in competition with each other. So don't rush. You don't need to rush because the card shows competition. So think about what it is that you want to do, and maybe you figure out how you can have everything that you want. So instead, you've got a dozen things you want to do, but instead of doing the sensible thing or the supposedly sensible thing, which is pick one and concentrate on it, you get the 5 of batons in the 11th house. So no, don't just pick one. Figure out how you can have it all, how you can blend or organize things so that you can advance and make progress with these multiple projects that you have an interest in. So maybe you want to learn to play the guitar, you want to make videos, and you want to experience or have a group of friends that are compatible with you. So what do? Instead of choosing one or the other, you learn guitar with a group of people, write songs, start a band, and then record the band playing, and then record some MP3s that you then sell on a website. It is one way of combining playing guitar, companionship with people, video, and creativity, let's say. So with the 5 of batons in the 11th house, do that instead of thinking, I must pick one thing and focus on it. Because that's right for some people. Maybe it was right for you at one time in the past, but now and into the future, you're multifaceted, multi-talented, so go for all of them. That is one way of looking. There's more to it, but let me leave you at this point with picking individual cards in individual houses and getting an idea of what they would represent one step at a time. And then later I'll show you how you can go into great detail. But that's probably enough for the moment. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back in a day or so. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.